I discovered the truth about my girlfriend Sarah's pregnancy when she was 6 months along. It came as a shock when a man named Brian approached me at work, asking if I was Sarah's boyfriend. After confirming, he apologized and revealed that he and Sarah had been intimate for over a year. He showed me text messages proving their relationship, and told me that when Sarah got pregnant, they agreed to pretend the baby was mine, so she could maintain her perfect life, and he could avoid taking responsibility. The revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. Brian, who had struggled to conceive, found the timing of her pregnancy suspicious, and his decision to confess was fueled by his recent commitment to Christianity. He couldn't live with the lie any longer, knowing I was raising his child. I felt the weight of the betrayal deeply. I had trusted her with my heart, and this was how she repaid me. After he confessed, I spent months grappling with the pain and confusion. I decided that I would confront Sarah at the most vulnerable moment possible, right after she gave birth. When the baby was born, he was taken to the NICU for monitoring. What should have been a joyous occasion for any new father was heartbreaking for me because deep down, I knew the child wasn't mine. Once Sarah was settled after delivery, I packed up my things. When she asked where I was going, I told her I knew the baby wasn't mine, and that she should call Brian to sign the birth certificate. I left without looking back, even as her calls and texts flooded my phone, and her sister reached out to me. It was the hardest thing I had ever done, but also a moment of strange satisfaction. I had planned to propose to her that day, envisioning a future together, but instead I walked away shattered, knowing I was right to confront the truth. Some people criticized my timing, saying I should have confronted her earlier, but others supported my decision, urging me to get a DNA test to protect myself legally. Despite being sure the child wasn't mine, I agreed to take the test for closure. Back at home, I stayed in touch with Brian, who was ready to step up and take responsibility if the child was indeed his. I didn't care what anyone thought of my actions. I had been betrayed, and the pain was mine to carry. I knew that eventually, everyone would move on, but I would always remember this heartbreak. A month later, the DNA test results came back confirming what I already knew. The child wasn't mine, and Brian was the biological father. He was thrilled at the news, despite the complicated circumstances. We kept in touch, and I found that he was a genuinely good person, active in his church and volunteering in the community. I wasn't sure if we would remain friends, but I didn't mind grabbing a beer with him occasionally. As for Sarah, she tried to pursue a relationship with Brian, but he declined, choosing instead to co-parent. I spoke with Sarah once, trying to understand what went wrong. She admitted she had been feeling unfulfilled, and that I hadn't been fully there for her. I acknowledged that I wasn't perfect, but I had always given her my best. When she cried, I hugged her, but made it clear that I felt nothing for her anymore. She suggested we stay friends or that I visit the baby, but I refused. I gave her a stuffed animal I had bought for the child we might have had. And once she moved out to her mom's, I blocked her number. The heartbreak lingered for a while, but slowly I began to heal. At work, I met a kind single mom, and we started talking. I was upfront with her about needing to take things slow after my breakup, and she understood. We hooked up casually, but I still needed space to focus on myself. Despite that, I saw potential with her. I began working out, attending therapy, and rebuilding my life, determined to move forward without Sarah. 8 months later, I had no contact with Sarah, who had moved 3 hours away to be near her family. Seeing her around town initially was tough, but her absence brought me a sense of relief. Brian and I texted occasionally, and had a beer together once, but we never talked about Sarah. He seemed content as a father, and I was happy for him. Meanwhile, my relationship with the single mom blossomed. Her daughter was incredible, and stepping into a fatherly role felt natural. Despite moving quickly, our connection was strong, open and stable. She grounded me when I struggled with drinking after the breakup, and meeting her daughter solidified my commitment to them. Therapy helped me process the trauma, and most days, I didn't think about Sarah anymore. The past seemed like a distant memory, and I started to feel truly healed. The support I had received from strangers online, during my darkest moments, had helped me more than I realized. I had transformed my life, and I was grateful. My relationship with the single mom grew stronger, and I even started planning for the future. I wanted to propose to her someday, excited for a future I never thought I'd have. Sarah had become nothing more than a painful memory, but I had no regrets about how I handled things. I'd faced the truth, walked away when it was right, and had built a new life, one I was proud of.